ordinance that we've been working on to amend it to make the abandoned signs a part of the abatement process for these signs and on that property legal, and everybody has gotten it right, so we'll vote that up or down tonight. Need your support to vote in favor of that. Thank you. Item number 2 is an application for lounge retail liquor license class 1 DTA investment, the Ultra Lounge. We had a public hearing on that a couple weeks ago. Chief Reeves, I see you got comments on that one.
Yes, sir. So I spoke with the owner of the parking lot that they're wanting to utilize. He's not here yet.
Okay.
She's kind of apprehensive, and right now she's not willing to 100% say that she'd be willing to negotiate letting him use the property.
Okay.
So I guess when he gets here, we can.
Okay, yeah, and I also talked with Councilman Jim Wright, who represents that district, and he's not in favor because I think he went by and saw that property is for sale. So even with this owner, it's possibly going to be a new owner. So he asked that we vote to deny that because he got some issues with the parking and like you say, the negotiation. So
yes, sir.
We'll bring that up for a vote for the will of the council. Any questions on item 2? Item number 3, application for a lounge retail liquor license class 2 package store for Elite and Company LLC on Norman Bridge Road. Mr. McGinnis.
Yes, Pro Tem. That's my district, District 7. There's a handful of people here opposed to that. I am also opposed to it, but it's a car lot. Okay, he's selling cars and he's asking for a package 2 or a class 2 package store license out of his property that is currently a used car lot in a gateway to a lot of residences there. So that's.
I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor, you said it's a car lot?
It's a car lot.
And he want to sell alcohol too?
Correct.
What do you got going on?
Is that a zoning issue? Would that be a zoning issue?
It is, and we it kind of, I pushed it off from last meeting. I told him I would call him back, and I did. We had a nice conversation about it, but he would like to turn it into a package store, but he wanted to get a package store license before he invested money to turning it into package store. So it's the chicken or the egg, right? So there have been other package stores that have spent a lot of money that have gotten denied a package store license after spending money. He's trying to do it the before. Either way, I'm against it, and we'll see how it goes down.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Item 3. Item number 4 is Happy Finance Director.
Okay, so basically, this is just a renewal of one of the LLCs that we currently have on the books. It will probably be the only one that we will renew. I've got 2 others. This one is expiring, and we would like to keep it just in case, okay? We've got stimulus money, we've got bond money, but you can't use it for operations, okay?
Okay.
So that's why I'm asking that you all approve the renewal.
All right. Any questions, Ms. Bevill? Ms. Betty Bevill? Can you sing that song, Just in Case, for me? Just in case? Yes. All right. Any question on 4? All right. Thank you, Betty. All right. Number 5, an ordinance granting a license agreement to construct and install and maintain a neighborhood sign in row of Marchie Lane.
That's in my district. I've been working with them, and I am okay with this.
All right. Any question on item 5? Okay. Item 6 is a resolution approving proposed Chappelle House and West End Neighborhood Preservation Plan, authorizing Mayor Reed to make application for Alabama Historic Commission for $4,500 for certified local government grant program.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Christy Anderson. I'm the Historic Preservation Coordinator. 10 years ago, the city did a plan for the Maxwell Boulevard area. The plan did not call for a large $50 million water park. So the dynamics have changed in that part of town. Since we've become a certified local government, we have been offered the ability to apply for some leftover funds. So we would like to apply for those in partnership with Landmarks Foundation, who is going to provide the match for this grant, to bring Design Alabama in to revisit that plan and come up with some strategies to hopefully make sure the impact of that project is positive for everybody in that community.
Okay. Any questions for Christie?
I do. Miss Counselor Johnson, did you get a chance to talk about those, about?
Not yet, I need them
Okay,
Thursday.
I know that, this is a grant that you told me that the city of Montgomery is now in a position that we can apply for certain grants.
Correct.
Will you be able to apply for different type? Is there a certain one that you wanted to kind of ask her about? Because that's kind of what she does. Or
Oh,
no?
is it?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
why I was.
Yeah, so I was looking to do some grants on improving some parks, where making them educational parks and within the district, and it's some grants that's available for it, and I know the process is already, so I just needed to meet with someone that does the grants for the city to see the process of doing it as a municipality.
I know for the certified local government funds, I think the programs that they will award each year change. That grant cycle closed in March. We weren't a CLG in March, so we missed it, which is why we're just doing this a little bit now. But as soon as they open that up, we can certainly let y'all know what types of projects are being funded in the next grant cycle, and see if any of the projects that you might have in mind, because I've spoken with Councilor Graham about some things that she'd like to do as well, what might fit within those parameters where we might be able to get some money for it.
Okay.
Because I live in District 3 too, so I'm all
Oh,
for it.
good. Okay.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Anderson.
All right. Thank you. Item 7, application for Allowance Retail Class 2 package license, the Beverage Center on Atlanta Highway. We will have a public hearing on that item. Counselor, 3458 Atlanta Highway is actually in District 1's council district, and I know it's something that we're going to vote. We're going to have a public hearing on that, but I would like, with the will of the council, to carry that over till they can have representation from that district. Right. But we'll have a public hearing on that today. Any question on 7? Item 8, application lounge retail liquor Class 2 package licensed by the Beverage Center on 1113 Perry Hill Road, Unit E. I think we will have a public hearing on that. Any comments on item number 8? What's that? Which one is this, number 8?
7. Yeah, he said that they were already operating there. They just don't.
So it must be a change of ownership. Okay. All right, okay. Well, I guess we don't need to hold it up. Okay, in the little shopping center. In the little shopping center, what we talking? Okay. Okay, all right. All right. Well, we'll take a vote on it tonight. We'll vote it up or down. All right. Item 8, any concerns, questions on item number 8?
That's District 1 as well? What district?
It's either gonna be district, it's off Perry Hill Road down in the shopping center, so it's gonna be, District 1.
So we're carrying over?
Yeah, we probably will carry that one, because that's a new license. All right, item number 10, applications for retail beer off-premises license, Food Mart on 3394 Norman Bridge Road.
That's me. It's the convenience store across the street from agenda item number 2, but new owners, they're just transferring beer and wine.
10.
But it's across the street from agenda item number 2. I can't really hear what you're saying, but yes, it's across the street from number 3. Thank you. Sorry. and this is just a transfer of ownership, so I'm okay with it. It's just wine and beer, as is.
I'm looking at the picture, Clay. Can you help me? Where is this located exactly on Norman Bridge Road?
The gas station across the street from the old Sahara.
Okay.
It's the gas station across the street from the old Sahara.
Okay.
It's in existence. This is a new owner transfer, from what I understand.
Okay. All right, we'll have a public hearing on that item. Item 11, application for a retail table wine license, doing business as Food Mart on Norman Bridge Road. I guess that's the same location.
It is. One is a
Yes.
transfer, the beer is a transfer, and the wine is a brand-new license. That's why ABC does it this way.
Okay. Any questions, Mr. McGinnis? Comments?
Not at this time.
Did
Okay,
y'all skip
item
number
12
9?
is an appointment by Ms.
Y'all
Johnson.
skipped number 9.
We
We
did.
skipped number 9?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Dollar General.
It's approved.
Because it was a Dollar General.
Yeah.
If they show up.
Yeah, on the Lower Retonka Road. All right, I'll go in reverse. Item number 9. Application for a retail beer and table wine license for the Dollar General
Yeah.
on Lower Retonka Road. Ms. Johnson, we'll have a public hearing on that. Any comments on 9?
No, no
All right.
comments.
Number 12 is an appointment by Ms. Johnson, Mr. Pruitt, an appointment on 13, and then we got some tear downs, abatements. All right, we got a couple more items that was given to you today by Ms. Blaylock.
There's one that's being introduced by Councilor Pruitt.
Ma'am?
I said, there's one that you're supposed to be introducing. Put it in front of you.
Administrative procedure.
Charlie, yeah,
Yeah.
Councilman Jenright, yes. that's
Okay,
correct.
all
And
right.
I think Councilman Jenright talked to, I think, pretty much everybody on the council.
Yeah, I talked to him on that
Okay.
one. Okay, we got an appointment by Councilor Jim Wright. And then we have an administrative procedure for renaming streets within the city limits of Montgomery. It's an ordinance setting the precedent on how we would do that. And so we got any questions on that one? Any comments?
I have a question. What is the difference in what we've got now versus this one?
This is the mayor's. He's introducing it during his time. So
Yeah, what are the differences, Mayor, between the thing we got on the books now versus this one?
Well, the biggest difference is, Councilman, that if people don't respond, they don't hold up the process. So if they don't respond and say no, then they are counted as a yes.
Okay.
And this is not for, to be on the agenda for tonight, so we can discuss it over the next couple of weeks.
Okay,
But that's the biggest change.
okay. And on those, Mayor, just out of curiosity, we know pretty much for a fact that they received the information that they got?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we send certified.
Okay,
I guess this also addressed this absentee landlord thing without responding, kind of holding up a
Yeah.
process of anything we're doing, so. Okay? And
there's a resolution appointing the poll workers for District 1 special election.
okay, we have the resolution appointing the poll workers for the special election in District 1 on on July the 13th, and a runoff is necessary on August the 24th. So we had that before us for us to approve tonight.
Is this me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't remember seeing the names of the people working before. I don't remember.
Yes, ma'am. Did it was we put them in your packet.
Oh, so it's not new, it's something we've always done?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because y'all appoint them. If you see anybody on there that you know that is related to a candidate, y'all can ask for them to be struck because y'all are appointing them. The county just provides us the list, but they're not supposed to be related to a candidate. So that's why we put it in front of y'all for y'all to look at and determine.
We gonna rule on this tonight, though, or we carrying this over?
We need to, because
We
we've got to
need
get it advertised, but if you want to, the next one will be July, the first meeting in July, and we've got to advertise
All
it
right.
before then.
So you got an opportunity to look at that. If we need to scratch someone, we got it before the council meeting. All right, any questions on the
And I
special
apologize,
election?
They just got it to me today.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh,
well,
yeah, I got, what?
Go
you
ahead.
finna close?
Ma'am?
Work session? You about to close work session, or you?
No, I wasn't gonna close the work session. I was gonna let you guys know we will have public communication tonight from the public. Since we back up in full floors, we got about 4 people that's on that, so we'll be here for a while.
Okay, I have, while we in this part, I have something I want to talk about, if I may.
Okay.
So we're getting ready to dive into our budget and talk about some numbers. And so I have been in communication with some people about some property. We have some non-strategic property that the city of Montgomery have, about 90 parcels. And there are some people who have went through the process to attempt to purchase the property, and we haven't kind of got it pushed through just yet, but they have done that. But I wanted this council to kind of know that that's some money that we, you know, it can add to our budget as we do this. I wasn't sure if everybody, all of the council knew that we had these properties. And then I have Lakita here and from Mr. Wilson's office who's over there, and then it's a young man that called me too today, who I told to be here at 4 o'clock, that wanted to talk about, he's one of the ones who has already submitted, if it's okay, if he just speak briefly to the council, to just talk about this, because let me tell you what I see. Lakita gave me some great numbers, Ms. Davis gave me some great numbers on what we spend, whether it's a department cutting grass or us having to abate it, because we are maintaining these properties, right? So that's money we spending. If we didn't have to maintain it, of course, those resources from the different departments, whether it's Parks and Recs or sanitation, whomever is going out cutting, you know, to kind of help us with some of our property that we have to maintain. And when you have 90 pieces of property, we're talking about we have to continue to maintain that we may not have to maintain. That gives us some slack to do some other stuff that's kind of getting away from us because we don't have the connection right now with the Red Eagle. We were using them as a resource to help us kind of keep down some of the properties we maintain, but that's something we haven't had in over a year. So either way, this young man, if you would come up and just speak with us briefly about it, and then I want Ms. Davis to kind of give us some numbers too, so that these numbers will make a little more sense to the council, because I just kind of asked her. I know she didn't know maybe exactly dollar for dollar, but she was aware of just kind of what it could range that we could save and keep in our budget and use for other things as we go forward with this. So give us your name and then.
My name is Larry R. Peterson. And the reason why I'm coming is back in 2008 when I retired from the Air Force and I came back to Montgomery, I wasn't really sure whether or not I was going to stay here or relocate elsewhere. I moved into my father's house, which is on the west side. As a matter of fact, it's on Murray Street, which is right off of West Jeff Davis, maybe a couple blocks from old Lovelace High School, which I attended. And I started the process of, I started a neighborhood association with the primary purpose of inquiring about these vacant lots that were available, primarily over in the west side, as a matter of fact. And through my investigations, I discovered that a lot of these lots were vacant and they sat next to properties that actually had people living in them. So I started a program whereby I was coordinating with the state, because at the time the state owned a lot of those properties, and we were trying to coordinate with the state to actually allow for us to purchase the properties that were, you know, next to the ones where people live, so that they can, you know, increase the land, you know, that they, the overall land that they would, you know, acquire as a result of that. I had a little success, primarily because the process at that time, it was de facto streamlined in the sense that Jeff Downs, who was at that time, I guess, the deputy mayor, you could go to him and talk to him, and he would be the final arbiter as to whether or not you could, you know, acquire the lands. And a lot of times, Mr. Downs, he would waive the fees associated with the properties and allow for individuals to, you know, acquire them. Over in that particular area, as a consequence of my, you know, initiative, I was able to rehabilitate 3 houses over that area with regards to this particular initiative. But there are still other lots over there. I have one lot that's on West Jeff Davis that I purchased directly from the state. I paid about $100 for that particular lot. And I've been trying for the past couple of years to actually acquire the lot next to that, It's a little small lot. It has no value in and of itself because you can't do anything with it because of the size and the code restrictions associated with actually development. But I'm somewhat frustrated because I see these large institutions, churches and others, they acquire a lot of this property, and yet once they acquire it, they just sit on it and they're not developing it. You got people like myself, as I stated, I've developed 3 lots and 3 pieces of property, and actually, afforded family members to actually move into the house. And what I'm asking for now is a process by which, if you have individuals like myself, and even if you're asking for, a cost associated with the lot that I'm talking about in question, when I purchased my initial lot, I was cutting the grass on the lot next to it. And I've been doing that since I acquired my property. That was back in 2010. If you check with housing codes, you'll find out that they have never had to come out to cut that particular piece, property, because I've been maintaining it. And there's a lot of, property that's still located on the west side that's in a similar situation. And there are people over there that live in the area that could benefit from that. But most importantly, it was, to me, it just makes common sense because, like the city, you're going out, paying a contractor to cut it, and then, turning it around, putting a lien on it, and it's building up debt. And some of these lots, like the one that I'm talking about, when I initially applied for through the state, they said that I was going to have to pay $11,000 to purchase it. And $11,000 because of all the liens that had been placed over it over the years. So, because I guess it's been state property since 1993. So it doesn't make any sense, the process that we have, at our disposal at this particular juncture. And it's something that I really feel that the city council needs to look at, and try to work with individuals like myself, to actually, get some type of utilization out of these properties.
And we appreciate you.
Just sitting there being vacant.
And we appreciate you so much for coming. Give me your name again.
Larry Peterson.
Beasley?
Peterson.
Mr. Peterson. Well, I know our administration, I had spoken with the mayor and his chief of staff, and they are revamping our whole process on that, which is going to make it better, hopefully, that we can streamline some of them and get them out. But I didn't know if this council was aware that we have 90 parcels of land. It used to be 300, as I was talking with Ms. Davis, and so we have a great realtor that the city of Montgomery has contracted with, and we down to 90 from 300, so that's wonderful. But there are so many out there still, and I think as we begin to adjust our budget or look at our budget, I just think these are different things we can consider that'll help us be in a better place if we ever have a year like last year, where the budget wasn't as secure as we projected. We projected that it wouldn't be as secure as the year before. These are small things that I think this council can consider as we go into our next budget conversations, just ways we can get money. Ms. Davis, I don't know if you have some numbers you just want to kind of talk about what it costs maybe to maintain the properties, or, I just kind of was worried. I've been bothering her a lot, y'all. It's all me. I'm sorry. I hate to put you on the spot, but it's all me. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And it's all me. I put her on the spot. I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Lakita, and I work for community development. But yes, as Ms. Graham spoke, I have been in contact with her, giving her some facts and figures, and a couple city departments. My understanding is that throughout, the city has over 600 properties. Only 90 of them are surplus. A lot of the departments take it upon themselves to cut those properties. If they run into some trouble and have to contract it out, it could cost as low as $50 a parcel. And those 90 parcels, if we cut them during the season, maybe 3 to 4 times a season, it could cost us $18,000 during the summer. So that could just, it does add up, but it's more so about the employee going out and spending hours upon hours cutting those properties instead of doing other things that they could be utilizing their time for.
in the city. I love it. And so, and that was the number, that $18,000 a year that we spend on just if we have to contract them out. And then if we're not contracting them out, it's employees that could be, cutting out right-of-ways, they're maintaining properties because people complaining because property's overgrown on city-owned property, so it just, I just wanted to kind of, as we look at our budget, just to know that this is out here and this may be a way. $18,000 is not a lot of money when we're talking about a $260 million budget, but it's still some money we can use and resources with the employees that we can use in other places because we know this past year has been kind of hard. We've had a lot of complaints I have in my district about the grass being overgrown and the right-of-ways and different stuff, and it looks really bad and that type of thing, and that's because we're pulling people away, to cut those parcels of land where people complain about that too, versus being out on the road getting that. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up before the council. I appreciate that our administration is looking at a new way that we can do this to kind of try to streamline it, and maybe we can get it to moving, but I just wanted the council to know that that's something that, we should consider extra funding resources we can hold on to and do something different with. Thank you so much, Ms. Davis. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. Any other council have anything? Go ahead. You go.
You want to go, Rondé?
No, go ahead, sir.
You
Mr.
sure?
Pruitt, I yield.
Mr. Calhoun, quick question, and it's probably for the mayor and legal and the police department. I understand that we right now cannot have off-duty officers working at these clubs because of insurance is not covering them. Is that correct?
They sent the moonlighting policy over to legal to review, and it does have a specific exemption about working inside or outside a nightclub.
So that means in English that we can't work nightclubs.
It means if there were an incident, they have no insurance to cover them.
Stacy, how do other cities, and where I'm headed with this, and the question I have for this council is, because we have a liquor license tonight before us. In the police department's brochure where you fill out their off-duty forms, they have a standard response or a standard set of procedures that says 1 officer per 100 people. If alcohol is not served, 1 officer per 50 if alcohol is served. Now, we gave a license last week to 1,000. We're going to possibly give one tonight for 400. And by the police department standards, guys, that's 26 police officers that 2 clubs are supposed to hire off duty. And yet we're going to work an on-duty shift to try to cover that with 3 or 4 officers. I think that's a huge thing. How do we get around this, Stacy? Do we go find another insurance policy? I mean, other cities are doing it across the country.
I haven't really engaged in a conversation with the police department. They sent me that policy and asked about the exclusion. I don't know how they identified this company. It was done several years ago, and as I understand it, they'd reached out to other police departments, and maybe it's a company that does provide law enforcement with these liability insurance coverage policies. But certainly I would think we could look at what other cities do and what kind of insurance they have. Obviously, from our perspective, our concern is, and the reason we require that is, in any situation when a law enforcement officer is working an off-duty job, if they get involved in an incident where they're suddenly going from off-duty to on-duty, then that opens the city up to liability, that opens the law enforcement officer up to liability, and that liability insurance policy is going to cover them and cover the city for any potential incident that might happen. I would think that's pretty routine throughout throughout the nation, because that liability could be pretty substantial. And as you know, the city has a cap on the damages that can be recovered against it. Unfortunately, the legislature won't extend that cap to law enforcement officers, and we're only required to indemnify our officers up to $100,000. So if there's a wrongful death suit where they're working an off-duty job, then they're looking at some serious potential liability, which they don't want to open themselves up to. I would think we could maybe talk to risk management, get some ideas about how to shop around and see what's available to them. I know we require our officers to get their insurance through the companies we know and we vetted. So it's something that we can certainly have a conversation about, but I think until we do resolve that liability issue, I don't think they want to open themselves up, and we certainly don't want to open ourselves up to that potential liability.
No, and I don't either, Mayor. I think this is a huge issue that needs to be tackled pretty quickly. I went through last night 9 or 10 clubs that we've had issues with, this council's had issues with. It's over 3,000 individuals that can go to these clubs total capacity. Doing the math, what the police department says, 60 officers is your off duty for all those people if you use what they use. And we're going to have a 3 or 4 on duty detail riding these clubs. We're asking for serious problems, especially with the holidays coming up, I think. So I think it's something that we better address in a hurry, I think.
All right. That's it, Mr. Pruitt?
Yep.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes, sir. Probably about maybe a week ago on Whitley Road at the gas station that it was a shooting. I have been getting multiple calls. We had a protest outside of that gas station, and I don't have any details. I just want to see, can I get some details? I know it's an investigation right now, but I need to be able to tell my constituents in my district something because it's unrest right now. And I don't need anything, in my district that would cause any unrest or anything to the city of Montgomery. So I just want to see, can I get any insight so I can report back to my district?
Chief Reed, you have any information on what he's talking about the shooting at the gas station? It's still on the investigation? I can't hear you. Sidebar. Okay. All right, okay. Ms. Mitchell, your sidebar. Any other member have anything?
Is the acting chief here?
You got some, Ms. Blaylock?
Is the acting chief here?
She said she talked with him off the record. All right.
No, I'm asking is the act, okay. I don't know who that is. I wanted to see who that was.
All right. All right. Work session is adjourned.